I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore. They agree with you. She doesn't want to be the first lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly. That's why I say allegedly.
Hold on to your seats. This story is about to get intense. We've got a major legal showdown on our hands, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single detail. Melania Trump, former First Lady of the United States, is suing the hosts of The View in a jaw-dropping $100 million defamation lawsuit. Yes, you read that right. $100 million. This isn't just another celebrity feud. It's a high-stakes legal battle that could send shockwaves through the entertainment and media industries. So, what's the story behind this explosive case? Let's break it down. Melania Trump is taking legal action over comments made about her during a recent episode of The View. And when we say explosive, we mean remarks that struck a serious nerve. This lawsuit raises major questions about how public figures are portrayed by the media. And Melania isn't pulling any punches. The controversy began during a discussion about her time as First Lady. The hosts didn't hold back. And some of their comments were far from flattering, bordering on inflammatory. One host even suggested that Melania was never enthusiastic about her role in the White House, implying that she neither wanted to be First Lady nor was happy in her marriage. To Donald Trump, these are bold, personal claims, and now they're at the center of a lawsuit that could make legal history.
Critics are going hard after a liberal media member for vile comments about Melania Trump. The former First Lady appears to signal her support for reproductive rights in a video out yesterday.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth. Individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
And this take is pretty shocking.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's
agree
a
on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out.
Wow. I mean, that is violent. They've got to stop talking like that about a former president who's had 2 assassination attempts. I mean, that's just...
But that wasn't the worst of it. The conversation quickly spiraled into a string of sharp criticisms aimed at Melania's personal choices and actions during her time in the White House. The hosts picked apart everything from her redecorating decisions to her take on Christmas traditions. One host even went so far as to imply that Melania didn't care about her role as First Lady, painting her as someone resentful and unwilling to embrace the responsibilities that came with it. You can imagine, comments like these didn't sit well with Melania and Ann now. They've landed The View in serious legal hot water.
Because I do want to get back to this point with the left and Melania Trump. Why can't she just be her own woman and have separate?
And she can.
And so why all that criticism? I mean, that was gross from The View.
And I
look,
agree.
The View is not the litmus test of America. We don't think that.
They were afraid of that remark. That was their problem.
So why did they handle it?
Here's the thing, Melania. Trump is known for being an intensely private person, especially when compared to other public figures. So when these personal attacks aired, she was reportedly furious. It didn't take long for her to act. Melania filed a defamation lawsuit against the hosts of The View, claiming that their statements were not only false, but also deeply damaging to her reputation. But this isn't just about bruised feelings or a PR stunt. This is about protecting her image and pushing back against what she views as harmful, unchecked narratives. Let's be clear, lawsuits like this aren't common. Most public figures, especially those with Melania's stature, tend to take a more passive route when facing media criticism, issuing brief statements, or simply ignoring the controversy. But not Melania. By filing this lawsuit, she's making it clear that she won't stand by while her character is publicly questioned. This is about accountability, and she's pursuing it in a very big way.
Are such vile comments, but they are exactly what The View's audience loves. It's targeted perfectly at a radically feminist, liberal audience that loves hate. Another now. This is loving and tolerant rhetoric the left uses, which they accuse the opposing side of using. And this one, those women are a danger to America. They do more than anyone else to stoke political and social tensions. The former president says he thinks his wife should be allowed.
But why does this matter? Why is Melania's lawsuit such a big deal? Well, folks, this case goes far beyond a celebrity spat. It touches on one of the most pressing issues in modern media. What can and can't be said about public figures? This legal battle raises critical questions about the limits of free speech, the responsibility of the media, and how far outlets can go when discussing someone's personal life, especially when that person has lived in the public eye. Melania's lawsuit could set a powerful precedent for how defamation cases involving high-profile individuals are handled in the future. If she wins, it could spark a major shift in how media outlets, particularly talk shows, approach sensitive, speculative, or controversial commentary about politicians, celebrities, and their families. Shows like The View might be forced to take a more cautious and respectful approach when covering the personal lives of public figures. But there's a flip side to this coin. Some critics warn of a potential chilling effect on free speech. Could this case discourage open discussion or criticism of public figures altogether? That's the debate already brewing. And here's where things get even more intriguing: the timing. Melania's lawsuit comes just as Donald Trump is once again making major headlines for his own legal and political controversies. Some observers are speculating that Melania's legal action could be a strategic move, an attempt to shift the media spotlight back onto herself amid the whirlwind surrounding her husband. Is this a calculated effort to reassert control over her public image? A power move to reclaim her place in the national conversation? It's definitely worth thinking about. But before we go deeper into the possible motivations, let's revisit the comments that set this whole legal firestorm in motion.